Let's study about nitrogen cycle. This is for igcse syllabus. Why do plants need nitrogen? Nitrogen is required for the formation of proteins. But there's a problem. Plants cannot take up the nitrogen gas from the atmosphere, but they can absorb the nitrate ions which are in the soil. Okay, there is nitrate ions in the soil. Plants can absorb this one. That means the nitrogen in the atmosphere should be converted to nitrate ions. How? By three different methods. One is called biological nitrogen fixation, and second method, natural fixation, and the third method, industrial fixation. So these are the three methods by which plants, the nature converts the nitrogen of the atmosphere into nitrates in the soil. Remember, this is in the soil. Let's study about each of these methods. What's biological nitrogen fixation? As the name says, it's done by living things. Biological means living things. It's done by a group of plants called legumes. What's a legume? Legume belongs to the group of beans. It's a bean plant. All the beans are commonly known as the legumes. Legumes have in their roots root nodule. What's a root nodule? These are swellings on the root. You can see those swellings on the root, and those swellings are called the root nodules. And inside those root nodules, you find bacteria living. This bacteria is called the nitrogen fixing bacteria. This bacteria is called the nitrogen fixing bacteria. Or they call it rhizobium. Rhizobium or nitrogen fixing bacteria. What does it do? This bacteria takes nitrogen from the atmosphere and turn it into ammonia, which is NH3. NH3 is used by plants to form amino acid. It forms amino acid using the ammonia. The amino acids are used for the formation of protein. What's used of the protein? Protein is used for the growth and tissue repair. When this plant dies, what happens to the plant? The plants undergo decomposition. Okay? It undergoes decomposition. During decomposition, the protein present in the plant is converted into amino acid. How is it turned into amino acid? With the help of enzymes called protease. The protease released by the fungus and bacteria digest protein to amino acids. Amino acids are deaminated into ammonia. It's turned into ammonia or NH3. This step is called deamination. This is called deamination, right? Here the digestion is happening. Then the deamination happens, it turns into ammonia. And this whole process of changing proteins into ammonia is called ammonification. This whole process is called ammonification. And it's performed by a bacteria. The name of the bacteria is ammonifying bacteria. The bacteria is known as ammonifying bacteria. What happens to ammonia, which is in the soil? Ammonia is converted to NO2, which is nitrite, and nitrite is converted to nitrate. This part is called nitrification. This step is called nitrification. The name of the bacteria is nitrifying bacteria, right? And that's the first step, first method, biological nitrogen fixation, right? Look at the second method, natural fixation. This happens when there is lightning. Lightning, it's a discharge of electricity between clouds. When the electricity passes through the air, it forces the nitrogen to react with oxygen, and that forms oxides of nitrogen. These oxides dissolve in the rainwater and come down as rain to the soil in the form of nitrogen compounds. Okay, this comes down. This comes down in the form of rain as nitrogen compounds. Those nitrogen compounds are turned into nitrite, NO2, and is turned to NO3. So this is again nitrification. This process is nitrification. Last one, industrial fixation. Industrial fixation happens in the factories. In the factories they make fertilizers, fertilizers. These are chemical compounds produced in the factories. Those fertilizers are used by the farmers. Farmers put these fertilizers in the soil, and these fertilizer compounds in the fertilizers are converted back to NO2 and then to NO3. So these are three ways in which the nitrate ions enters the soil from the atmosphere. What happens? What's use of these nitrate ions? These nitrate ions are absorbed by another group of plants. These plants do not have a root nodule. Those are the plants without the root nodule. They need this nitrate ions. Why? They need nitrate ions to form amino acid. They form amino acid. Amino acids are used for the formation of proteins. That proteins are used for growth and tissue repair. So this is taken up by diffusion and active transport. By diffusion and active transport, the plants absorb nitrate ions. And those nitrate ions which are in the plants are turned into proteins. When animals feed on the plants, when animals eat the plants, what happens to this protein? It's transferred to the animals. The excess amino acids are deaminated by the animals and turned into urea. So the urea comes out by a process of excretion. And what happens to urea? Urea is turned back to the ammonia, and ammonia is turned to NO2. NO2 is turned to NO3. So it changes back to nitrate ions. And when these plants and animals die, when animals die, the plants die, again the same decomposers work on their protein and change the protein of these animals into amino acids, ammonia, later into NO2 and NO3. The last step, which is the most important, is the completion of the cycle. These nitrate ions are converted back to free nitrogen by another set of bacteria. This is called denitrification, and name of the bacteria is denitrifying bacteria. So how many bacteria are here involved? You can see that there are in fact 4 bacteria. That's the first bacteria, nitrogen fixing bacteria. Number 2, it's called ammonifying bacteria. Ammonifying bacteria. Number 3 is nitrifying bacteria, right? And number 4 is denitrifying bacteria. What's the function of the nitrogen fixing bacteria? This converts nitrogen to ammonia and provide this ammonia to the plant. What does ammonifying bacteria do? This converts the protein of dead plants and animals into ammonia, right? And what does nitrifying bacteria do? It changes any nitrogen compounds in the soil into nitrite and then to nitrate, NO3. This is done by nitrifying bacteria. What's the function of denitrifying bacteria? It changes NO3 to free nitrogen. These bacteria are not good for the soil. The reason? They reduce the fertility of the soil, right? And this is a summary of the nitrogen cycle. Thank you.